There are two kinds of Fallout fans right now. The first kind loves the RPG side of things, the faction politics, the branching quests, the speech checks, the feeling that your build and your choices shape a story that's uniquely yours. And the second kind is there primarily for the world, the exploration, the atmosphere, going through a door, not knowing what's on the other side. Well, this video is built around exactly that split, and it's aimed at both groups. Because it turns out, the best open-world RPGs for Fallout fans break down pretty cleanly along those same lines. The first group is for the first kind of fan. They're games that reward the way Fallout players think, with deep systems, reactive worlds, and writing that actually respects you. Group 2 is for the second kind. Games built around the pure feeling of exploration, of being dropped somewhere vast, and slowly making sense of it. And then one honorable mention at the end that is basically Fallout wearing a trench coat and pretending to be something else. 7 games total. Let's get into it. We'll start with the first group. These are 3 games that offer great faction politics, choices that really matter, and excellent roleplay. Game number 1, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. If you haven't played The Witcher 3 yet, I don't know what to tell you except fix that immediately. You play as Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter who's navigating a war-torn world where the real monsters usually have political power. The tone isn't Fallout's dark comedy, but it shares Fallout's core belief that the world is messy, people are complicated, and there's rarely a clean answer. The quests are where this game embarrasses the competition. Side quests have full story arcs, moral weight, and consequences that echo back later when you've half forgotten about them. The Bloody Baron questline alone contains more genuine moral complexity than anything Bethesda has shipped in a decade. Strengths, quest driving that sets the gold standard. Characters are very human, real, and memorable. Your choices make a big difference. A world that rewards curiosity at every turn. Weaknesses. Combat is fine, but nothing particularly impressive. The main story sometimes pulls focus away from the open world's best content. If New Vegas is your favorite Fallout, and statistically it probably is, The Witcher 3 is the closest thing to that level of writing in an open-world RPG. Number 2. Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3 is the most reactive RPG released in the last 10 years, possibly longer. You're dropped into a high fantasy world with a mind flayer parasite, slowly turning you into something terrible. Every decision gets remembered in a visible way. For example, you see it in how NPCs talk to you, how companions react, how entire quest chains open or close. The D&D rules underneath are more accessible than they sound. Fallout players will recognize the logic immediately. You have attributes, skill checks, the feeling that your build shapes what options are even available to you. A high charisma character genuinely plays a different game from a high strength character, down to the dialogue you see on screen. The companions are exceptional. Full arcs, real opinions, and the ability to walk out on you entirely if you push them far enough. Strengths. The most reactive world on this list. Companions that rival any RPG ever made. True role-playing where your character build shapes everything. The world reacts to you and your decisions. Weaknesses. Turn-based combat is a hard no for some people. The sheer volume of options can be overwhelming. If you've ever wanted a game that truly lets you roleplay and fully inhabit a character, Baldur's Gate 3 is exactly that. Number 3. Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk had one of the most catastrophic launches in gaming history. We all know the story, but the game that exists now, post-patches, post-Phantom Liberty, is genuinely excellent. You play as V, a mercenary in Night City, sharing headspace with a dead rockstar whose personality is slowly overriding yours. The existential stakes are personal in a way most open-world games don't bother with. Night City itself is one of the most realized environments ever built. Dense, vertical, loud, and full of stories tucked into corners you'll only find if you slow down and look. That's very Fallout energy. The 2.0 update completely reworked the build system. A netrunner who hacks everything plays like a completely different game from a street brawler. Dialogue has skill checks. Body, intelligence, cool, that gate options the same way speech checks work in Fallout. Phantom Liberty is exceptional. Spy thriller energy, great new characters, and some of the best mission design in the whole package. Strengths. One of the best open world environments ever made. A build system that genuinely changes how you play. Phantom Liberty is worth the price of admission alone. The game is technically impressive. The big budget shows up on the screen. Weaknesses. The main story's urgency sometimes works against the open world. Some side content is thinner than the world's detail level implies. If you played at launch and had a bad time, you'll need to mentally reset your expectations. For Fallout's neon-soaked, morally ambiguous, everything is broken and beautiful energy, updated for a cyberpunk future, this is it. Number 4. Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 has no business being as good as it is. Set in a dying American frontier, you play as Arthur Morgan, an outlaw figuring out if there's a version of himself worth saving before everything falls apart. It's a slower game, it earns that pace, and if you give it the time it's asking for, it will absolutely gut you. The world is the star. Wildlife behaves realistically, weather affects gameplay, NPCs have routines and remember you. Exploration isn't about waypoints, it's about wandering and stumbling across things. A stranger with a problem, an abandoned camp, a crime in progress. Fallout players will recognize that environmental storytelling instinct immediately, just told with mud and timber instead of concrete and rebar. Strength. The most alive open world ever built. Environmental storytelling that rivals Fallout at its best. An emotional gut punch of a narrative. The atmosphere is so palpable, you can almost smell it. Weaknesses. Deliberately, unapologetically slow. If you need constant stimulation or a quest marker every 30 seconds, this will frustrate you. The controls have a stiffness that takes adjustment. Your favorite Fallout memory is wandering somewhere with no quest active and finding something remarkable anyway. RDR2 is built entirely around that feeling. Number 5. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the most grounded RPG on this list, and that's exactly why it works for Fallout fans. You play as Henry, a blacksmith's son, navigating medieval Bohemia during a civil war. No magic, no dragons, just a first-person open world built around the idea that you're a real person in a real place trying to figure things out. That design philosophy, where you drop the player in, trust them to explore, and let the world be complex, that is pure Fallout DNA, even if the setting couldn't look more different. The RPG systems are deep in ways that sneak up on you. Speech checks, reputation with different factions and towns, skills that improve through use rather than menus. Your choices carry weight, who you side with, what you say, whether you pay your debts or burn bridges, and the world adjusts accordingly. The environmental storytelling is also exceptional. Villages have histories, NPCs have schedules, and the landscape is full of things worth investigating simply because they're there. Strengths. A first-person open world that feels genuinely immersive and reactive. Deep RPG systems that reward the way Fallout players already think. Quest writing with real moral weight and meaningful consequences. Realistic game and combat mechanics. Weaknesses. The combat system is skill-based and demanding. It doesn't hold your hand. The historical realism means no power fantasy. Henry stays human throughout. Slow opening hours before the world fully opens up. If you've ever wanted a Fallout-style figure-it-out yourself open world without the post-apocalyptic setting, Kingdom Come 2 delivers that more completely than almost anything else on this list. Game 6. The Elder Scrolls V: Skyrim. Yes, Skyrim made the list. I know, it's a Bethesda game, and we have a complicated relationship with Bethesda on this channel. But Skyrim is here because it deserves to be. Wherever your feelings about the company, the game they made in 2011 remains one of the greatest open-world exploration experiences ever created. And Bethesda built Skyrim with the exact same design philosophy as their Fallout games. That DNA is unmistakable. The faction questlines give you distinct identities and communities to belong to. The main quest is serviceable but secondary. The real game is the one you build by choosing where to go and who to be. The modding community has also been doing for Skyrim what modders have done for Fallout, keeping it alive, expanding it, and remaking it from the ground up for over a decade. Strengths. Pure open-world exploration at its finest. Huge and dense world full of stuff to do. Game is very accessible to pick up and start playing quickly. A modding ecosystem that extends the game's life indefinitely. Weaknesses. RPG systems are shallower than Fallout's. Dialogue is limited. Choices rarely carry meaningful consequences beyond the immediate quest. Skyrim trades narrative depth for exploration breadth. For the feeling of being somewhere enormous and alive, it still holds up. And no amount of anniversary editions changes that. Number 7, and honorable mention, Wasteland 3. Wasteland 3 gets the honorable mention, and it might be the most Fallout game on this list that isn't actually Fallout. Here's the history. Brian Fargo produced the original Fallout. Before that, he made Wasteland, the game Fallout was spiritually descended from. So when you play Wasteland 3, you're not playing a clone. You're playing the source material's modern continuation made by the people who started all of this. Set in post-apocalyptic Colorado, you're leading a squad of desert rangers through a region controlled by a ruthless ruler with all the resources. The tone is vintage Fallout, dark humor, moral ambiguity, factions with legitimate competing interests, quests where there's no clean answer. The dialogue is sharp, the choices are real, your decisions early on echo through to the ending in ways that feel earned. Strength, writing and tone that is pure Fallout DNA. Real faction choices with genuine consequences. The historical connection to Fallout's origins makes it hit differently. Weaknesses, turn-based tactical combat will filter some people out. More structure than the other games on this list. It's not a pure open world. That's why it's the honorable mention rather than a main slot. But if you've burned through everything else here and need something with exactly the right flavor, Wasteland 3 is the one. So that's the list. 7 open-world RPGs every Fallout fan should play. The Witcher 3, Fallout but the writing actually respects you. Baldur's Gate 3, Fallout but the world remembers everything. Cyberpunk, Fallout but neon, vertical and fixed. Red Dead Redemption 2, Fallout but slower, sadder, and unforgettable. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Fallout but grounded, medieval, and quietly brilliant. Skyrim, yes, a Bethesda game, and yes, it earned its spot. And Wasteland 3 as the honorable mention. Not a Fallout successor, but the actual ancestor. If you want more of these pure survival alternatives, the best Fallout-adjacent indies most people have never heard of, let me know in the comments. And if you think I got it wrong, tell me that too. I read them. Until next time, take care.